गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सेदसादनं प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवदे दीनामवित्रयवदो गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। ओम साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ओम जयन्ती मंगलकाले भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवदात्री स्वाहा स्वधा नमोस्तुते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Sairam Lin, Sairam from Malaysia.
Sairam Sharma, Sairam from New Zealand. Thank you, Swami, for once again permitting Sharma and I to share more stories of your inexplicable power and majesty. Welcome to our listeners with our loving, most loving Sairams. We value each and every one of you, and we read all of your comments and we welcome them. Om Shri Sairam. Today's topic is Swami's footprints in vibhuti have appeared. This is a phenomenon that is, I think, one of the most touching and most sweet miracles of Bhagwan. That even though he may no more be in his physical form, his footprints appear regularly all over the world in various situations. And I would like to recall several of these of which I have personal knowledge. There was a group from New Zealand who went to Brindavan. I believe, I'm not quite sure of the date. They went there to see Swami, and he was there, but he did not come for darshan. This group was led by Mata Betty's much beloved friend, Mrs. Edith Palmer, an American devotee originally from San Diego, California, but who made her home in New Zealand, married to a New Zealand gentleman. And Mata Betty, when Edith was given a robe in a interview in which I was present, Swami gave her a robe, and she said to Mata Betty, "What does this mean? What do I do with this?" And Mata says, "It means for you begin a group." And so the lady did, and soon she had quite a large group of mainly Gujarati people and some from South Africa, some beautiful Indian people from South Africa who live here in New Zealand. And Edith then took her group to Brindavan to see Swami. But for some reason or another, Swami was not appearing. Even though he was there, he was not coming for darshan. I cannot remember the reason, but the group decided that what they would do after darshan was to sit quietly and meditate on Swami, chant Gayatri, and they had quite a program of what they would do after the bhajans were finished. They were going to stay in the hall. And some of you may remember that this is permitted, well, what used to be, even in Kulwant Hall, that after darshan, you could sit there for some small amount of time, I think it was 10 minutes, maybe 15, and meditate quietly. And they decided, this group, Edith's group, decided to do this, but also to, as a group, send their love to Swami, chant Gayatri, and do prayers. They sat there after the bhajans were finished. Swami had not come for darshan. And they sat there very quietly with their eyes closed, doing their prayers and their mantras. Then, after some time, one of them received a tap on the shoulder from a sevadal who said, "Madam, please open your eyes and look." And all around them were Swami's footprints in vibhuti. He had circled the entire group on both sides, on men's side and ladies' side. They were completely surrounded by his footprints in vibhuti. Needless to say, they were overjoyed, and everyone dipped their fingers into the vibhuti and put it on their forehead, including the Seva dolls, who were absolutely overjoyed. Now, Swami's footprints have appeared. I've seen them several times here in New Zealand. In one instance, two devotees had been working on a art project for Shanti Niwas, which is a rescue organization, a volunteer rescue organization, staffed by a very beautiful Indian lady. And they rescue elders, Indian elders and Asian elders who have been abused by their families. A sad fact of life that in this country, some families, and it's not a large number, but some of them send overseas for the elders to sell up their properties and come to New Zealand, give the families the money that they then get them to take care of the children and give them not good accommodation, and they abuse them in various ways, financially, emotionally, and so on. And this organization, Shanti Niwas, rescues these people. These two Sai devotees had been working on a film about Shanti Niwas. It was not a Sai organization project, but they were busily working out the camera angles and drawings on pieces of paper. And on the actual date, April 24th, 2014, they arrived in the art studio to find that Swami's footprints were there in vibhuti, just as if he had been looking over the artwork for Shanti Niwas. Again, they were overwhelmed and overjoyed, and it's quite difficult to preserve Swami's footprints once they are there on the floor. You would almost have to build a glass dome over them, and this was not a large space, so they tried their best for some time to preserve the footprints and took many photographs of them. There are several other instances of prayer rooms in South Africa, England, and New Zealand, where the footprints have occurred during bhajans, where a piece of fabric or material has been laid down to give Swami a pathway to his throne or his chair. This normally happens, I have only seen it in private homes. I have not seen it happen in centers, but that does not mean to say it doesn't happen in centers. It's just my personal experiences, which I like to share because, you know, for me, I can vouchsafe that I saw these experiences with my own eyes. I know of one bhajan group who regularly have bhajans, and footprints would appear on the red material that was spread on the floor, leading to his throne. And also, another extraordinary event was a devotee had a robe of Swami's, and she placed it on the altar, or on the floor, the carpet rather, of an altar that had been put together in another lady's living room, where they had all of the things. There was a lovely carpet, big photos of Swami, flowers, but it was all laid out on the carpet, not up on a table. And during the bhajans, there were bhajans going on, the ladies noticed that this robe, which happened to be in a clear plastic folder to protect it, was moving. And it looked as though an invisible foot was standing on the robe, because it was sort of cockling up on the sides, just as if a weight was on the robe. An extraordinary sight. And when the bhajans were finished, the ladies rushed to see the robe, and turmeric, spots of kumkum, and vibhuti were materializing all over the robe. And a beautiful fragrance was in the air. And so it was like an invisible footprint had stepped on the robe to bless it. How can we begin to understand or even fathom this divine blessing of Swami's? he is letting us know, because most of these incidents I have related occurred after Swami took Mahasamadhi in 2011. These are his calling cards. He hasn't gone anywhere. He is still present wherever his glory is being sung, wherever his love is being celebrated and spoken of, wherever devotees are working in his name, in his service. It doesn't have to be a Sai organization project. It can be any service that brings solace to those who are suffering. Let us forever remember that our dear Lord has not gone anywhere, and he has many, many ways of revealing his mysterious presence to us. He is forever with us. He is above us, beside us, behind us. He is all around us. Om Shri Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Tasmat karunya bhavena rakcha Saishwara. Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Saishwara Arpanamastu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.